Hey music lovers and studio nerds, this is MJ. I'm on a road trip across this beautiful nation with my best buddy here, Michelangelo. And listen, while we're doing this thing, I want to talk about his new album coming out soon called Sail On. You got to check it out. It is the most amazing studio production and well-written album I've heard in a very, very long time. Stay tuned, more to follow. Things that I love about this album is not only the fidelity and the crisp, sharp, warm, full sound of it, and there's a ton of songs on there that are a lot of fun, like Cowboy Shanty and Throw My Socks to El Fuego, but there's also some songs that are, I mean, to me when I heard them, they were almost haunting and they just pull you in and you just sit in them and experience them. Songs like Conversations with a Lighthouse. It was so thought-provoking. Tell me about that one. What inspired that song, and how did that writing process go? And because the finished product was so amazing.
Oh, to your lighthouse, where would my soul be? Shine on, my dear friend, shine on. You fashioned a highway and brought it to sea. Shine on, my dear friend, shine on.
Well, Conversations with a Lighthouse, that's really a byproduct of my upbringing in, well, growing up at the church, but also musically as a singer. There's a song called The Lighthouse that I grew up hearing, and then when I really got into singing, the lyrics in that song were very powerful. If it wasn't for that lighthouse, my ship would be no more. And I've always had a soft spot in my heart for lighthouse songs, just because I thought, they're so meaningful because of the nature of what a lighthouse is. But I kind of went a full deep dive for myself into lighthouses. And in its core, I kind of took away that a lighthouse is really, at its bare rawness, it's an instrument of love, meaning it's not about necessarily commerce, it's not about controlling ships out at sea. It's there to guide the sailors as they were traveling, to guide them safely to their passage wherever they were going. So the lighthouse never asked questions, it just provided the light. And so when I started the deep dive, I did research on a lot of old lighthouses, and there was a lighthouse in Ireland that, 1800 years ago or so, well, maybe about 800 years ago from what I remember. I could be off, but I heard the story of this cliff, and below the cliff was just some rocks that would cause so many ships to wreck. And there was a priest that got so saddened, and not only just saddened, but he actually wanted to do something about that, that the ships would not crash anymore. He actually went up to this cliff and he started a bonfire night to guide these ships as they were going through this certain passage. And then through history and through time, they ended up making a lighthouse in that same spot because it was such a vital tool. But in essence, in its core, it was really to save souls. And since then, ships have used it for commerce and all that stuff. But really, it was to save souls and to guide sailors to where they were going safely.
Oh, I shine for the lost ones whose ship you can't see. Sail on, my dear friend, sail on. My light is a beacon to guide you to me. on, my dear friend, sail on.
And as I look at lighthouses, I've heard people say that, you know, a lighthouse doesn't need to put a sign on a lighthouse that says they're a lighthouse. You know, they're simply just being a lighthouse. They're shining their light, and the sailors, if they choose to recognize it and adhere to it and use it as a guide, then that's great. If not, you know, that sailor's, you know, has his own choice, and whatever sailors are on board. But I just did a deep dive into lighthouses, and so I started to think, well, what would a sailor say to a lighthouse if they actually, you know, could talk and they were in a conversation, and then, well, what would the lighthouse say back to the sailor? And the lighthouse is basically saying, sail on, my dear friend, sail on, and the sailor is saying, shine on, my dear friend, shine on. So it's kind of simple, but I'm very excited for people to hear the song about the lighthouse. I'm excited about the production. I'm excited about people hearing Sherry DeGruccio. She sings along with me, and I just think it's so beautiful, and I'm really proud of the production of the song. So I hope people can listen to it and really enjoy it.
Sail on, my dear friend, sail on. Shine on, my dear friend, shine on. When I was young, I went to school. Our teachers made up all the rules. The salty breeze would call my name. And I headed for the ocean spray. Punching through the raging sea.